All right, guys, back with another sermon. The name of this message is going to be called I Feel You. I Feel You. And I'll explain that title here in just a second. But let me go ahead and jump into what this message is about. Whoever this sermon is for, there's a couple of things going on, stirring up, that's about to happen in your life. And these two things are going to kind of collide, kind of clash with each other. But it doesn't have to play out bad. It doesn't have to be a hard process. All you have to do is accept what your discernment is telling you and to not entertain the drama. And this is what I mean. Whoever this is for, you are someone who you're wanting to get married. You want to find the one. You want God. You've been waiting. You've been praying. You've been believing. Maybe you've been fasting. Maybe you've sold into it. I mean, maybe you've had others pray for you about it. I mean, I don't know, but you have just diligently been waiting and seeking the Lord, and you're ready. You're ready for the one, and you're wanting that soulmate. But also, this is how you know that this sermon is for you. You are someone who you've had someone in your life when it comes to dating and relationships that they acted like they did not want you until someone else did. Let me say that again. When it comes to relationships and datings and things of that nature, you've had someone in your life who acted like they did not want you. Keyword acted, because that's what they were doing, was acting. They acted like they didn't want you. But as soon as someone else came along that really did want you and wasn't afraid to show that they wanted you and loved you and cared for you and you loved and cared for them back, and it was so good and it was so genuine, as soon as they thought something good was really gonna happen between you and them, it was like they just had to interfere. They had to come in and come on. Either they gotta try to just be rude and just tear up the relationship or what could have been a relationship, or they come back crying, talking about, I want you back. I realized that I messed up. Please take me back. I know they're not good for you. I know I'm the one, blah, blah, blah. And they did this, or they did things like this to string you along. And then when you finally took them back, and things seemed to be going good, and they got you right back where they wanted you to be emotionally with them, what did they do? They did you wrong again, right? They cheated again. They did stuff behind your back again. They stole from you again. They caused people to turn their back on you again. They lied on you again. They left you again. And they were just rude, and they acted so horribly towards you, and you couldn't figure out what you did wrong, because you really didn't do anything wrong. You did everything right. But they just couldn't receive that genuine love that you were giving them. It was almost like for them it was too good to be true, so they just had to ruin it. Like a I'm going to hurt you before you hurt me kind of thing. So they just had to ruin it. Right? So they ruin it again. And you keep seeing that pattern with them. Anytime things doesn't work out for them and somebody that they are with, or as soon as you get happy with somebody, here they come. Every time things go wrong for them, here they come. They come back to you because they know you're going to treat them right. But they feel some type of power and control when they do you wrong and then up and leave you, because it's not happening to them this time. So they go back and they act like they don't want to have nothing to do with you. Don't speak to me no more. Don't talk to me. You're harassing me. Come on. Stop bothering me. You're stalking me. They go on and on. Wishy-washy. More wishy-washy than a washing machine. And this goes on. But as soon as things don't work out with the person that they just immediately got with after they dumped you, or as soon as you've moved on and you're happy with somebody, here they go. Here they go. Following you around, watching you, got to see what you're doing. And if they can't cause problems in the relationship you have, they find someone else to do the dirty work for them. But there's always something. They always act like they don't want you. And that's the key word, is they always act like they don't. But they always come around at the worst of times for them to try to come around and make things right for you. They really try to mess stuff up for you. Now, again, you are somebody who you're believing God for the one, and they're coming. It's about to happen. But you also have somebody from your past, and I'm warning you, this is your warning. That person from your past, they're going to try to re-enter your present, whether it be for the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time, whatever. They're going to try to re-enter your present situation, and they're going to try to ruin what God is trying to put together. And you're going to know they're the one because that person from your past is going to, listen, if you thought they did some jacked up stuff back in the day to cause problems for you, wait until you see what they try to do now. Oh, you thought they tried to mess up some of your relationships before? Watch how they really show out this time. Watch how they try the hardest they've ever tried to ruin this new relationship you're about to have with the one. Watch. You think you've seen some jacked up sides to this person of your past before? Just wait. You're fixing to see just how deceitful and manipulative and vindictive this person really can be. I mean, this is in game right here. This is their final attempt to just really hold you back from true happiness. I mean, this is it right here. They're really fixing to try it. And I'm not saying this to scare you or freak you out, because, as I've said, listen, all you got to do is be honest with yourself about what you know. You know how this person is. You've seen how they really are. You've got to accept the reality that this is still, unfortunately, how they are. They're not really sorry. They don't really want to get back with you and for real make it really work this time. Whatever excuse they give you this time, you cannot fall for it this time, because you know how they are. And as soon as they start with that mess again, something inside of you is going to be going off like flashing red lights going off inside of you. In other words, your discernment is going to kick in, and something in you is going to tell you, nope, you already know what this is. You know, you're going to catch the vibes right away. You're not going to have to really question it. Listen, it's nothing you got to try to figure out. You're going to know right then that they're on their nonsense again. You're going to know it. You're going to know it. All you have to do is not play dumb. Don't play dumb. Don't get so caught up in the idea of forgiving and showing love that you allow yourself to be taken advantage of. Yes, you can forgive. Yes, you can still have love and compassion for that person. But it's like I say many times, and like you've heard other people say many times, that expression, loving somebody from a distance. You can't reconnect with this person this go around. You can't do it, because listen, you've seen how they are, maybe more than once, maybe more than you like to admit. You kept giving them chances, but really God allowed those incidences almost like practice rounds. He allowed you to see once, twice, maybe three times, however many times it took for you to see how they are. So now that you done got it, now the person who is the one can come along. So all you gotta do is not fall for the trap of the one who you know is up to no good. That's all you gotta do. I'm telling you, this is the simplest test to pass if you just go with what you know. And the crazy thing about this is, a lot of times we talk about going by faith and not by sight, not just going by what you know, and da 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 da. And so many times that's true. But this is one instance. Not saying that faith isn't important and that it doesn't matter. It does. Don't get me wrong, because you got to have faith to believe that God is going to cause you to encounter the one. But what I'm saying is, this is one of these few instances where you actually really can go by what you see. Your sight, so to speak, is really important. In other words, it's important for you to acknowledge reality. You listen, you see reality, but now you gotta accept what you see. You really can go a little bit by sight this time. You see how they are, you see how they've been. Don't ignore the reality that you see. You see it. Don't cause that moment to happen where, kind of like that old saying, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. Don't get to a place where you can't see the big picture, is what I'm getting at. Don't tune out reality just because this person comes back with this fake apology, and they're talking to you all sweet, and they're finally admitting that they were wrong about this or that. Listen, it's a tactic. It's a last minute plan to ruin what God is trying to do. But God has allowed you to go through these test rounds in the past. That's what all this was really about. Oh God, they broke my heart. How come you just let them break my heart like this? No. Don't get mad at God, because now all of what you just went through, since you done finally got this together and you done learned your lessons, this is going to benefit you now, because now you can't even act like you don't know how they are. You've seen it enough. You've gotten tired of the nonsense. So this is an easy win. This should be super easy. It does not have to be hard. Just go with what you know. You really can go by some sight and what you know this time. I know sometimes we don't go by our own thoughts and, our own ways of viewing. This is one of the few times you actually can just be like, nope. Ain't got to try to spend X amount of days, thinking this through, hoping to get that word from the Lord. No, God has given me discernment. I'm going to use it this time. That's all you got to do. That's it. It's not going to get any simpler than that, guys. So I'm telling you, I'm just letting you know in advance, don't fall for it. And the reason I call this I Feel You is simply because, usually when people say, hey man, I feel you, if someone says something to you and you say, I feel you, you're not saying that you literally reached out and, touched the words that they were saying and you felt their words. You're just saying that you agree and that what that person said, you felt it, it resonated with you. You agree with it. Y'all are eye to eye on this issue, right? Funny, I just said eye to eye and I'm wearing a Powerline shirt. But anyway, for those of y'all that get it, that was a cool moment right there. But anyway, so anyway, but this person from your past, what they're trying to do is they want you to go by your feelings. And what they're trying to do is they want to try to rekindle old feelings because y'all have history. But right now, history really ain't all that important, because you can't let that history get into your present and ruin your future. It wouldn't be a bad issue if it was a good history, but really, if you look at the overall aspect, if you look at how it played out, it was bad. It was bad. All of it was just What did all that history amount to? It was just negativity. Look at all the hurt you went through because of that past. All that bad that outweighed the good. So why would you want to bring that negativity forward because it's wrapped in a pretty package? Why would you take it because it's wrapped in a package filled with, fake crocodile tears? So please take this into consideration. Don't be blinded by the lies. Don't be blinded by this deception that's here to trick you. Don't let your eyes grow dim, so to speak, to what you see is reality. Don't go by your feelings. Look at what is in front of you. Just pay attention. Okay, so I'm going to be in Genesis chapter 25, also chapter 27, and then John chapter 4. So I'm going to share a story that may seem a little bit off topic from what I'm talking about, but I'll explain it, and then you'll be like, this makes sense. So I'm just going to dive right in. What we're seeing here is Genesis chapter 25. I'm going to be starting at verse 25 as well. What we see earlier in this chapter, though, is this. You've got the gentleman Isaac, who gets married to Rebekah, and Rebekah is barren, and so Isaac prays to the Lord on this matter, and the Lord opens the womb of Rebekah so that she can conceive, and she also lets him know that she's going to be having 2 children, not just one. So she's going to be having twins. So verse 25 says this, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. So we see that these twins are born, but it's very easy to tell the differences between them. Esau is very hairy. Keep that in mind. He's very hairy, and Jacob is not. He's just a smooth, plain man. And verse 27 says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. Verse 28. Verse 28 says, and Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. So right off the bat, we see that the father, Isaac, shows more favor to Esau, his son Esau, his firstborn son Esau. He's the one that came out first. And then we see that Rebekah, the mother, loves Jacob the most between the two. So we see some favoritism here. And so that's going to play out in chapter 27. So skipping to 27, verse 1, it says this, and it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim. So now he's getting to the point where he really can't see that well. Pay attention. So that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here am I. And he said, behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before my death. Now therefore my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. So what has happened is Isaac has had a conversation with the eldest Esau, the one that he favors, and he's like, listen, I'm going to get ready to bless you. Check this out. Go out. Go hunt some venison. Bring me back a delicious meal. You know what I like. Bring me back what I like so that I can eat. I don't know when I'm going to die, so just let me have a final supper, if you will. And when you do all this, after all that, I'm going to bless you. So he has a plan to bless Esau. Because, Esau, him being the oldest, he's the one that's entitled to a special birthright, a special inheritance from his father, because that's just their tradition. And so he's wanting to pray over him and pray blessings over him and just pray all kinds of great things over him before he passes. His eyes are growing dim. But we see that Rebekah has overheard this conversation, and she has talked to the son that she favors, Jacob, and she says, listen, I got a plan. Your dad is wanting to bless your brother, but I want you to be the one to be blessed. So I want you to go and basically do what your brother would do. Just copy him. I want you to go and get some meat and go do this and do that and get all this stuff prepared for your father to eat. And I'm going to take care of what I need to take care of. I'm going to make sure that you are blessed, because he's not going to know that it's you presenting this meal to him. We're going to try to make it seem like it's your brother, but it's going to be you standing in the place that your brother is supposed to be standing in so that you can get the blessing. So the plan is to trick the father. That's rough right there. And I know some of this might not be adding up to what I said earlier in this sermon, but it's going to add up. Just hold on. Verse 11, and Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. So he's saying there's differences between us. I don't know if this is going to work. Verse 12, my father peradventure will feel me. And I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. So Jacob went out. He went and got the food ready for his mother to prepare. And in the meantime, the mother, Rebekah, goes and gets Esau's clothes and makes these skins. She cuts off the skins off of these goats. And what happens is when Jacob comes home, she puts Esau's clothes on him so that he'll smell like Esau. And she puts these animal skins on Jacob's arms and on his neck, on all his smooth parts, so that if someone were to touch him, he would suddenly feel hairy. He would feel like Esau. And so, even though he may not sound like Esau, he wants to feel like him. He's got to make his father feel of him. His father has to feel a certain kind of way because he can't see so well. So he's going to have to try to discern between what he's hearing and what he can't see so well and what he's feeling. See how this is kind of starting to add up with what I was talking about earlier? So let's keep going. It says this, verse 18, and he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou hast badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. He's telling some rough lies. Verse 21. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son. So here he is. He's got to feel him. Whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. So he's blinded at the moment. He can't really see. He's got somebody in front of him, and it sounds like Jacob, but it feels like Esau. 23, and he discerned him not. He discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hands, so he blessed him. He got ready to bless the wrong person because he could not discern. He couldn't discern who he really was. He had the hints there. The voice didn't match up. It wasn't quite right. But he was going by what he was made, what he was deceived into feeling. Listen, whoever this is for, do not be deceived. Don't go against what you know. See, you can see. They're just trying to keep you from seeing reality. They don't want you. They want you to ignore what you see, the reality that you see. They want to blind you with their lies and their deceit, and they just want you to just feel something. They want you to feel what you used to feel that made you feel good back when they used to do nice things and say nice things and laugh at your jokes that you know might have not even been that funny. Come on. They want you to feel all that again, but not pay attention to what's right in front of your eyes. And you'll be knowing something ain't right. Your discernment is going off, but yet they want you to not discern the truth of the matter. So again, verse 23, and he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands, so he blessed him. Verse 24, and he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat it. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. So he has now spoken great blessings over the wrong son, the one that he wasn't planning on blessing, the one who isn't supposed to receive the big inheritance. He leaned in to kiss his son. He smelled Esau's clothes on Jacob and said, I recognize this smell. This is a beautiful smell. This is the smell from being outside hunting in the wild. I know this is Esau. Sometimes somebody from your past can come along and they put on that right cologne. They put on the right perfume to remind you of back in the day when y'all were kind of close and you smelled that scent that they sprayed on them and you told them how good it smells. So now they're going to wear it again. Because if they get close enough for you to smell it, it's going to bring back those old memories. Because y'all know how it is. You know how a smell can bring back so many memories. They put on the cologne or the perfume they had on back in junior high and high school. And back when y'all were in your early 20s. And come on. Okay. Trying to bring them old memories back. Trying to make you feel something. And he blessed them. Now look at this verse 30. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from hunting. So right after Isaac blesses Jacob, here comes Esau in. Isaac blessed the wrong one right before the one comes through the door. It would be a shame if at the last minute you bless by marrying, you bless the wrong one instead of the one, because they made you feel something that caused you to go against your discernment. Come on. That'd be a sad situation. Let me explain something to you. Esau was supposed to be blessed, but the blessing went to the wrong person. Whoever this is for, in your situation, you are the blessing. You are the inheritance. So who you marry or who you give yourself away to, see how this plays out? Who you give yourself away to is the one who you are blessing. You are giving them an inheritance, so to speak. Yeah. See, please don't look at it like I'm trying to make you feel arrogant by saying, oh yeah, you're a blessing. Understand what I'm saying. See, you got to understand something. Whoever this is for, listen, God's already been working on you and getting you ready for the one, just as he's been getting the one ready for you. And the one that he has for you, listen, you're all that they could ever ask for. You're all that they have prayed for and believed for and waited for. Just like how you've waited and believed and prayed. So when they get you, it's not just you being blessed by the Lord, but they're also, listen, the Lord is blessing you with them. You are a blessing to them, just like they're going to be a blessing to you. And just like God wants to bless you, they also become blessed through you. All of what pours down onto you pours out onto them. They're blessed just because they're with you. Do you get what I'm saying? You're the blessing. You're the inheritance. Don't give the blessing or give yourself away in marriage to the wrong one, to the one who this is not for. Okay. Go along to John chapter 4 and let me kind of, while you're going there, kind of help you understand what you may be getting ready to deal with. There are different tactics that this person can use, whether it's male or female, whatever, whoever it is, whoever you are, whatever. And some of these tactics could be this right here. They could try to guilt you into getting back with them, or they could try to bully you into it. And what I mean is this: they could try to guilt you by trying to tell you that, they just messed up in the past and they just weren't ready. So they start trying to make you feel sorry for them. I messed up and, I just wasn't really that mature, and I was kind of worried about what folks would think or would say, and, I got caught up in this, that, and the other, and, my priorities weren't in place. They were kind of out of whack, and, this happened to me and that happened to me, and, blah, 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 and so that, I kind of had my trust issues with you before, and, I was just kind of greedy and selfish, and I just wanted to have my cake and eat it too. So, I cheated, and, I left you for these people, and I messed up, and it was a mistake, and I don't know what I was thinking, and blah, 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 blah. So they may try to make you feel bad for them. Oh, I'm sorry, I messed up. So they give you this spiel. But something in you is going on. Something in you knows that what they're saying, whether they mean it or not, you can sense the deception behind it. You can sense that it's not coming from a genuine place. When they give you the spiel, your discernment is going to go off. Like ding, 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 right? Red lights, emergency exit, fire extinguisher over here, right? You know what I mean? Like you'll detect it. It's like that they're putting on this show. They're putting on a show. You'll know it. You'll know it. You'll know that they're just trying to pull you in one more time. Trying to make you feel bad for them. Trying to make you feel like you got to give them a chance to in order to show compassion towards them. So that's one way. Another way is the bullying, and what I mean by that is, instead of it being about them messing up, they'll try to twist it to where it's all about you messing up. So they may say, well, you didn't have your priorities in order back in the day, and you didn't have enough going for you. You didn't have a decent enough job. You were just working that bum minimum wage dead end job, and I just couldn't see how you were going to support this relationship or a future marriage, and you had all this potential and you weren't living up to your fullest potential, and so I just moved on to somebody that has some potential, or somebody that was really doing something with their life, and blah, blah, blah. Come on, right? Now you're the bad guy. You're the bad guy here. So now what they're going to do is they'll try to make it seem like you owe them. You're indebted to them. They're going to make it seem like they were wasting time on you in the past, waiting on you to get it together, instead of them loving you the way you tried to love them. Come on. And they have spent time fault finding in you what isn't perfect in the eyes of the world, because that's really what it's about. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and they want you to come across in this certain image and in this certain light to everybody so they can feel good about themselves. They got to feel good about themselves through you and through what other people are going to think about you, and then and the two of them together, all this and that. So they give you all this spiel about how it's your fault that they kept leaving and that they kept cheating on you. It's your fault that they couldn't make up their mind about you. But now that they see, you're doing good in life, and you're happy and you're healthy, and you got some financial stability about you, now they're coming to let you know that now, since you got it together finally, now you're worthy enough to be with them, and they might just consider settling down with you now. So they can set it up to where you're the bad guy if you don't take them back, by making you feel bad. Or they can make you seem like the bad guy when they tell you, well, it's your fault that you got treated this way by me. But now, now you can try this again. And no matter how you look at it, it shows their true colors. It shows how conceited they are. It shows that they have gotten so full of themselves over time. And it shows that if you try to make this work, it's going to be what they would call a toxic relationship. And you are at a point now where you've gone through too much toxic this and that to turn back. You've made it too far, and you've gotten healthier spiritually, mentally, physically. You've gotten to a place where you've made too much progress to let toxicity settle back within you. You can't tolerate toxicity in your one-on-one relationships that could lead to a toxic marriage. You can't tolerate that anymore. You can't settle for that anymore. You can't keep settling for less anymore. You've done that too much in the past. You've done that in the past with people that tried to make it seem like they were settling for less with you. But you were the one that would have been settling. You may not have seen it then, but you're going to see it now when you see what God has in store for you. You can't fall for it. You can't fall for it. John chapter 4. Let me do this and I'll wrap this up. So, I won't read all of this story for the sake of time, but many of us, we know this story, the woman at the well, right? Jesus talking to the woman at the well. Jesus being our Lord and Savior. Jesus Christ, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He's on the scene. There's this woman sitting at the well, and it's a very controversial situation, a very risky situation. Because Jesus is talking to this Samaritan woman, and the Jews usually don't talk to the Samaritans. And a lot of times it's weird when a man is sitting alone one-on-one with a woman that he is not married to or not related to, just out talking to her in the most respectful way, in a situation that some people could view as suspicious, like Jesus has got something going on with this woman. And so it's already controversial because of these reasons. But then we see something else here in verses 16 through 18. I'll just read these 3 verses. It says this: Jesus saith unto her, Go, call thy husband, and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Jesus said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband. For thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband, in that sayest thou truly. So he's talking to not only a Samaritan woman, not only is he sitting one-on-one with this woman, but she is a woman who has a bit of a reputation about herself. She has had multiple marriages, back-to-back marriages with 5 different men, and now she is with a man that she is not married to. So, that's not good either. So back-to-back failed marriages, that's something that could have brought shame to her. And now she's with this man in what could appear to be a marriage, them living together and living like a married couple, but not actually married. She was just going through life, relationship out of relationship, in and out of some not so good scenarios. No telling what all type of shame and embarrassment this woman has gone through. People could have saw Jesus sitting and talking with her and been like, what is he doing sitting with a woman like that? Does he not know what type of woman she is? And maybe he does know, and maybe that's why he's sitting with her, is he's trying to get some, because maybe she's easy. However they would have said it back then, but you get my point. But Jesus has compassion on this woman, and at the end of the story, this woman has a life-changing moment with Jesus, and the water pot that she came to the well with, she leaves it there. She runs off and she goes to tell people about this man named Jesus that told her all about herself, but that loved her regardless, with a true, genuine love. And many people would argue that she would be the first evangelist of the Bible. So this is an important story about salvation and transformation, and just going out and just testifying about the goodness of the Lord, seeing a change in someone's life. And I bring this up to help me in this sermon and say this person from your past, see, they're kind of like the woman at the well. The only problem is they haven't had that big transformation moment yet. Because truth be told, that's not what they want. God, Jesus, he can do anything in anybody's life, but the person simply has to be willing. They've got to want the changes. They've got to want it, if they would just want it. But see, this person that you're dealing with, like I said, whether they're a guy or woman, they're kind of like the woman at the well. Maybe they're that type of person that they've juggled relationships. They've been in and out of them. And even though to someone on the outside looking in it seems reckless, it's their norm now. It's normal to them because maybe something happened to them that really messed them up to where they're trying to fill a void that only Jesus really can fill, but they're trying to fill a void. They're trying to feel love on a level that maybe they quite haven't, or, something along those lines, and they have that hurt and those trust issues. And so what happens is they go in and out of relationships, in and out of marriages. All these things seem to fail, and they're never satisfied with anyone, no matter how good a person is to them. And what happens is they find somebody like you who may be really good to them, could be the best thing that ever happened to them, but they've got to sabotage it. At some point when it gets too good, they got to sabotage it, and they go back to these other people, and they go back to juggling. One minute they're out on a date with this one, the next minute they're out on a date with that one, the next minute, and some of these are new people and some of these are old people that they're just juggling around and recycling. Maybe they were once with that person. Maybe they were once married to that person. Now that they done got done with you, they got to go back to them. Always got one of the different people that they're juggling staying over one night. Then another night, this person. Then they're good with this person for about a few weeks or a month. Next thing you know, this other ex is back staying the night over there. They can't just sit down somewhere, so to speak. They just can't chill. They just can't take the chill pill. They just can't swallow it. But they're in and out of this cycle But to them, it's their way of having control. It's their way of saying, okay, no one's going to hurt me. I'm going to be the one to call the shots, and I'm going to be the one to call the quits. I'm going to be the one to initiate this relationship coming back together, and I'm going to be the one to tear it down. No one else is going to try to control me. No one else is going to try to hurt me. No one else is going to try to embarrass me. I'm not going to be humiliated. I'm always going to look good. I'm always going to have somebody on my shoulder or holding my hand. I'm always going to look a certain way in front of certain folks. They're always going to see me with the cream of the crop. I'm lonely, but I can't let people see that I'm lonely, so I always got to be with somebody. I always got to have somebody there to say that they love me and compliment me, and regardless of whether or not I believe it, I've got to hear it, because that's the only thing that kind of keeps me motivated right now. So you may be good for them. You may be the best thing. Best thing since sliced bread. But at the end of the day, they can't sit still with you for very long without sabotaging the relationship and getting with someone new or going back to someone from the past and just starting it over. Running through people, letting people run through them, and when they get hurt or something doesn't work out how they wanted it to, or they see that you didn't finally quit crying over them and moved on, you didn't quit calling and texting and coming by any time of night, and so now here they come running back to you. And what you are is you're their safety pillow, their safety net. And a good way to explain it is, it's like you're here at home, and maybe you're in your bedroom, lying on your bed. That's when you're most comfortable. You go out into the world. You leave your home and you go out and do this and do that, and everything's fun, and then you get hurt. And a lot of times when we get hurt by anything, what do? When we get hurt, when we're in our feelings, we like to come home, we like to get in the bed, we grab our pillow and we cuddle up to our pillow and we let all the tears get down in that pillow. That's what you are to that person of your past. You're that safety pillow. You're the one they know they can go to when they're hurting the worst. When they really get hurt out there, they can come in, because they feel safe with you. You're like their shelter. They can come in, lie down, come on, cuddle up. You'll hold them, tell them you love them, tell them you care, the whole nine. And it ain't that they don't believe you. They're just there to soak it up and soak it in and let the tears fall on your shoulder. And then when you've healed them emotionally, so to speak, if that's how you want to put it, when you've brought their spirits up and brought joy back into their life, and somebody else comes along and flirts, they're ready to sabotage it all and ruin it so they can go to somebody else that said they were cute or said they were sexy or said, I could show you a good time, or I can spend more money on you. I can let you drive this car of mine for the week, and blah, blah, blah. Come stay at my house because I got this at my house and they ain't got that at their house. So, and then they run off. They know what they're doing is wrong, but they're going to break up with you before you can break up with them so that they can go and mess around with all these other folks. Always got to make sure they got 50-11 options, because that's their way of having control. Always having options. It's their way of trying to see who will compete the most for his or her attention. Because that's where they feel this weird type of love. But that's not real love. That's not true, genuine love. But they have not received this reality just yet. They're stuck between having real love with you and stuck between these illusions of love, and it's causing them illusions of grandeur. They put themselves on a pedestal and feel like everyone fighting over them is how it's supposed to go, but it's not. And Jesus, just like how Jesus gave this woman a transformational moment, Jesus could do the same for this person that always wants to be in and out of your life, but they've got to want it. So they can say that they believe in God, they can say that they believe in Jesus all they want to, but until they submit and resist not just the devil, but this spirit of jealousy that they operate in, until they get to this point and they see and accept the reality that this is not good and that these are negative cycles and patterns that they got to want to get rid of, until this happens, until they want this to stop, until they want to have that sanity in their emotions and in their relationships, until they get to that point where they can be honest about this problem and want the change, all they're doing is blocking the Lord from making that move in their life, and therefore they're just not ready. God is not wanting you to be in that reckless relationship with them. They're still too reckless. It doesn't matter about how good the past felt at one point before y'all went through all kinds of hell. At the end of the day, it's just going to be toxic. So what am I saying? You can love them from a distance. You can pray for them. You should pray for them. You should pray that the right one comes along for them. Just like how you're believing for the right one for yourself. But unless they're willing to listen, not just say, oh, I've changed, and you know they're lying, unless they really allow the Lord to really change them and touch their life, they're going to keep going through those cycles. And you can't get sucked into that. So don't fall for the lies. Don't fall for it. They've got this spirit of jealousy about them, not just jealousy, but a spirit of jealousy that they operate in, and that people close to them operate in. They're quick to get jealous when you've moved on, when you're happy. The devil and his imps are just operating in these people's lives. You cannot be a part of that. It'll take you out. It'll bring you back under after you've risen up from the ashes. You can't do it. So whether it hurts or not, you cannot fall for these tricks and traps and deceptions. Don't be blinded. Don't be blinded by the lies and the illusions. Go with what you know. You know what the truth is. You know how they are. Look, it's cool that you see the good in them. It's cool that you can look past some negative things and see the good, but you can't ignore these bad things and act like these red flags are not there. They're there, and they're there for a reason. Don't backtrack now. Go with what you know. Go with what the Lord has shown you and will show you when they pop back up to stir up mess, because that's all they're there to do. They done got jealous. They're full of drama and envy again. They're going to cause strife and tension. They're going to stress you out. And then when the person that should be the one gets tired of it and leaves, guess what? You're left with the nonsense, and you know what's going to happen. That person that you done took back again, they're fixing to go on about their business and keep indulging in the cycles that they've been in with all these other people. And what are you going to be left with? Nothing. Don't do it. Thank you for listening. I pray us out of here. Heavenly Father, I thank you for another time to minister another word. I pray, Lord, that those who would need this word, Lord, that they would receive it, and that nothing within them makes them want to backtrack and reject this word, that nothing in them says, well, no, let me show them love and compassion and give them another chance. Lord, let that not be the case. Lord, let your people see and understand that they can have love and forgiveness in their hearts without going back to the abuse, without going back to the toxicity, without going back to the negativity, without going back to the lies and the deception and the hurt, that they don't have to put up with the cheating and the walking away and the unnecessary scripted arguments. They don't have to go back to these things just to prove love and compassion and forgiveness. Lord, your people have the love of God in them without having to allow themselves to be bullied and broken down. You didn't call us or create us to be bullied and broken down, but rather you have created us to be the head and not the tail, the first and not the last. Lord, I give you all the praise, the glory, and the honor. And Lord, I'm excited that you're doing something in the lives of your people so that they finally get to be with the one you've created for them. Lord, I declare love and peace and compassion and joy in the lives of your people. And I give you the praise, glory, and honor. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.